Chantal, unmute.
All right, now you can hear me. I was just welcoming everyone back and saying that you should have a spokesperson for every group. There's a few people that have just joined us that might have not been part of the first part of the workshop. So we've just done some empathy mapping in our different groups, and we're going to give some feedback now on those empathy maps. And I will share my screen as we go through the various groups. All right, so can we have group one? Marley, that was you, hey?
Yes, my team decided they're going to pin it on me. But we had a great discussion. Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to just open your empathy map. Can everyone see empathy map 1? All righty. Marley, just checking that you can see the right screen.
Yes, I can. If you can just make it a little bit bigger, you know, me and my eyes. There we go.
All right. Okay. Talk to us about who your persona is.
Okay, so we had kids at home, and so we empathy mapped for Logan. He's 10 years old. He's living with his sister and his mom, single mom, and his sister is 6, and her name is Cindy.
All righty. Oops.
Cool. So currently, what's happening in Logan's life is what he's hearing and seeing and understanding is suddenly there's this thing called the coronavirus. People are wearing masks. There's sick people in hospitals. He's seeing all of those things on TV. The president is talking about lockdowns. Washing your hands is a big thing suddenly. No playing outside. This is a great long holiday. No school. I've got a lot of screen time suddenly because it's okay. I can't play with other kids. I can't go and play with my friends. I need to keep quiet when my mom is on a Zoom call because suddenly she's working from home. Sometimes I can see that, or you can see that his mom is stressed and worried, but she's hiding away some of the tears. But he can feel something's not lekker, something's not good. Sorry, lekker is Afrikaans word for not feeling so great. There's no school, and suddenly he needs to also step in and do some chores at home that he's not used to. So that's the life of Logan at this point in time. Chantal, can you maybe move to the fears or the decisions? It's fine.
Right, there we go.
Okay, so he needs to now suddenly be more conscious about what's happening in and around the house. He needs to accept the situation. He needs to understand what and why the changes are happening, and he needs to help make decisions on things like the breakfast menu, what TV shows his sister can watch. He needs to have a bit of balance, discover new hobbies, keep in touch with his friends and family in a different way, maybe with WhatsApp or Zoom. He needs to help make decisions around what's going to be eaten for lunch and dinner. And he needs to maybe connect with his teachers and educational content in a different way. So he needs to decide to be open to a different way of being. Okay, so if we can do the fears. So biggest worries, what if I get sick? What if my mom or my sister gets sick? I won't see my friends again. No school forever. I really miss my teacher. What happens if we run out of food and toilet paper? You know, what if mom loses her job? What if I can't ever go out again to play team sports or my sport that I love. Worried about my grandparents, and you know, I can't go to the mall. I can't go and watch movies or do stuff with my friends. That's a big fear. And then the last one, the needs. So friends are a big thing for kids. So they want to play with their friends. They need attention. It definitely needs security and communication on what's happening and some transparency around what's actually happening. He needs to be kept busy and stimulated. Needs to get outside because there's a real sense of cabin fever. We're so limited to where we can and cannot go. He needs some brain exercises, some educational content, some resilience training, maybe some skills training around how do I overcome my fear and this anxiety that I can't really explain. Maybe some stress release in some way, coping skills. And guidance, how to handle conflict with my sister. She's irritating the shit out of me. You know, and then some help in terms of homework, potentially when they need to start, when they start school again, online potentially, and hugs, lots of hugs, needs lots of hugs and love and attention. And then we went a little bit further and we did some problem statements. I don't know if you want me to go through that as well, Chantal, or are we there yet?
No, you can share with us. So these were, so the process of design thinking, once we've got empathy, we can go into defining. So what are the problems that we can solve for this particular persona? So Madeli's team finished quite early and they started on the problem statement. So share that with us, Madeli.
Okay, can you just zoom in a little bit? Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's many, but we said, okay, how might we create understanding in a positive way? So how can we not get stuck in the negative, but try and find the positive? How might we build resilience and a positive mental state? How might we create a space where they feel part of the solution and not that it's something out of their control? How might we adapt to this new way of being? And how might we keep our kids stimulated? So those were the big ones, we think.
All right, stunning. Thank you, Madeli.
Cool.
Right.
Thanks, team. Thanks, team one.
All right, so let's have team two. Johan, I'm going to share my screen.
Emmy is going to give us some feedback.
All right, stunning.
Hi. So for the elderly, so we went into being more specific on who are these elderly. So we already have a picture of them. Thank you, Johan. So it's a couple. They are 70 plus, so the biggest age group, biggest risk age group. They are set in their ways, basically. You know, they've been together for more than, you know, married for 48 years. They are mobile, but they can get around, but with a little effort. They don't, you know, they can't run anymore. They have, they don't have any, you know, close friends or family living next to them, but, you know, radius of 30 minutes drive, they can access to someone. They have a minimum basic medical plan. They have high blood pressure and a little heart condition, so a bit of chronic disease, but not too big. They're not really tech savvy, or, you know, they're handicapped with tech. They can do WhatsApp, but cannot set up a new app. And yeah, so this is Michael and Susan. What's there? Yeah.
There we go.
Cool. What's happening in their lives? So they're basically watching TV all day long. They're sad and they see sad and scary news. They're worried about what the new world look like. They make a lot of assumptions, negative one. They swallow all the fake news on the real problem. They don't know really how to divide what's fake, what's not fake. They see their world changing all around them, seeing very little traffic, planes, trains, everything quiet. They have conflicting views from the news, but also from their trusted connections and their families. They are isolating themselves even more than needed. They talk a lot about the virus and about other people's well-being. They are, some of them not taking, so on the opposite, some of them, so, maybe Susan is not taking this seriously while Michael is taking it really seriously. And there is basically a lot of panic around their, the news from friends and family. So in terms of what decision they need to make, can I go out to buy food? It's about the medicine. Can they take anything that will prevent the virus? So in terms of going out, can I go out just by, with someone else? So do I have to go by myself? How do I improve my mental health? Can I, how do I get some cash? Do I need some cash? So regarding medication also, we talked about that. If I feel a little bit ill or, I have or feel like an urgency, can I call or go to the hospital? Regarding food and meds, do we need to stock up them? When it comes to online and data, they know that they can connect with people through that, but they've got no idea. Do they need to do something, improve something, buy more data? What are they going to, what are their plans now? Because their routine, so do they need to make new routines and being indoors because they can't go outdoors anymore? Regarding the news also, what do I do with all this news? Do I believe them or not? In terms of food, what? So when it comes to their financials and their pensions, what should they do about that? And also questions around how do they conclude their funeral, cremation and everything, their plan, because in case. So these are the decisions. Then in terms of fears, obviously the first fear is about getting sick and dying. It's also about not knowing what's going to happen next. What also where they could get their chronic disease meds, if they cannot access the usual medicine from home, not having sufficient food. They're afraid that God is punishing them. There is some kind of they're also afraid of their investment and savings worth nothing because the economy is collapsing. Also being big fear around being disconnected and the network could break down and can't access family members and friends online. Also being alone if the other one gets sick. What will I do without him? The children also very concerned about their children or family getting sick, not seeing their family or friends again. Concern about will this ever pass, and also taking care, who will take care of their pets if they get sick or die, and basically not being able to take care of themselves. Finally, the needs, there is definitely needs around medication for their chronic disease, need of being connected in conversation, need of stimulation, walking, exercise, need of feeling more positive, need of food, need of data, airtime, eating healthy, and enough, having basic necessaries without going out, how to, you know, these are their needs, having some hope, need to have some food for their pets, need to have regular touch point with their families, feeling also need to feel that they're not just a burden, but they can be helpful too. They need encouragements. They need physical assistance with home chores, and also need some help to come up with some coping strategies. This is us.
Thank you. And I want to quickly say, if you guys are feeling heavy listening to this, I said to the other group, you're supposed to. That means the empathy map is working. So if you're feeling what it feels like, if you feel these fears, if you go, oh shit, this is bad, that's when the empathy map is doing what it's supposed to be doing. So if we as problem solvers and innovators become uncomfortable enough, you know, we're gonna come up with new solutions to these problems. So that's really what the empathy map is doing. And you know, as I'm sitting here, I'm immediately looking at, you know, the way I spoke to Hans' parents this morning, and the way I threatened them was probably not the right way of communicating with them. You know, I'm not really empathizing with what their situation is. You know, and if I look at even relationship conflict between these people, they're probably going to want to kill each other by next week. You know, so is there something that we as a family can do to distract them? Is there something we can do? You know, if I had to give Johan's dad a job and said to him, you know, in the garage, he must go and fix something for me or make something for me, I'm probably going to be able to distract him. So that's kind of what's happening to me, is I'm feeling heavy listening to this. But it is probably going to help me in terms of what will my next step be in order to engage them, in order to motivate them to stay home, in order to tell them that, like, there's going to not be that much spending. You know, all of a sudden we all need to prioritize. All right, so can we get group 3? Who's going to be our spokesperson there?
So I'm not sure who's the designated victim. Sorry, I mean spokesperson.
All right. I just need to tell you quickly that this group was very hardly negotiating with me because they said they definitely needed more time. Now, before, I want to quickly just tell you guys what I did with setting up this board. The reason why your navigation is so difficult on these boards is, you'll see here on my screen, do you see that area there? So that area has an image inside it, and then it has a post-it note. So as soon as you click outside of the post-it note, you're clicking on the area, and that's why people found it so easy to drag it around. So I apologize. I made a mistake when I set up this board. I actually didn't know it was gonna be so difficult to navigate. So as you can see here, I'm going to delete that area, and I don't want to delete the content. I only want to delete the area, and that's going to make it much easier to navigate on that board. So I don't want you to go away from this workshop thinking, oh, the tool sucks. It's not the tool that sucks. It's the person who set up the board that had a little moment there of suck. I thought I was going to group everything nicely. In that grouping, it actually made that people can drag around the board. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that learning. All right, Olga, so are you going to take us through this?
Okay, sure. So although I don't know a lot about townships, but I think we worked very well together as a group, and everyone else was kind enough to bear with me as I understood more details. So our persona is Busey, and she's 28. She's a single mom. She lives in the township, so in a communal area. She has a 14-year-old son. We didn't get the chance to finish the last bit about her decision-making process, but I think we went a lot in depth about what's happening, what is she seeing, feeling, what are the fears and the needs. So one of the biggest things that she was seeing was like a scared community. There are lots of issues of safety, security, maybe people not abiding by the rules, not abiding by social distancing. There are concerns about being able to go back and forth, especially for work. there are concerns, or maybe more about this being a white person's disease, or this is there's a bit of racism there, that she will not be infected. So they're hearing all of this information. There's a sense of complacency that this is not going to impact them, but still there's a sense of uncertainty as well. There's a lot of stereotyping, prejudice, lots of government communications, but maybe not in their language. So it needed to be more localized for her to understand what this means for her. Lots of concerns in terms of robberies and crimes, and maybe issues with childcare and what's going to happen to her and her son in the future, as well as not seeing enough police patrolling the areas or around her community or her house. So that this was the summary of what she was seeing, feeling, and then we went a lot into what she might be fearing, more specifically in the near term. So she would be very concerned about the loss of income, especially because she doesn't have a steady flow of income. Maybe what would be her skill set after the pandemic? Does she need to evolve? Will it still be relevant? And then being infected herself and her family, but also the community at large. And how would she be able to access healthcare, or a lot of fear of the unknown and a lot of psychological impact. Again, fears of crimes and robberies, even as she is collecting or withdrawing cash, or if she is carrying groceries or anything, or moving around. Then we talked about the fire hazards in the townships, maybe a piece about food insecurities, availability and access to food, and some concerns about relocation, and some xenophobic concerns, and a bit about moving away from the community and what's going to happen, domestic violence and violence towards women and children in specific, and being separated from her family and her community, and how would she be able to move within South Africa. But then also fears about her son and his earning ability. So if his school is delayed, that means that he will graduate later, and then this would mean a later stage where he can support her and the family income. But also lack of potable water and lack of electricity, which might be some of her fears. Then we did a bit of sort of fleshing out what would be her and her son's needs. So a lot of communication that's localized, customized in her language, maybe also very specific, very clear, very timely, and it is not patronizing, but at the same time, it's not very complicated, very difficult to understand. Leadership or counselors within her township that would take responsibility and accountability for providing security and safety and stability in the community, but also spiritual leadership and support. Some concerns about cultural sensitivities and how the different burial rites of different maybe tribes or communities would be different. So some people would need to be buried within one day. Some people have certain rites that need to be happening, and how would this be addressed during the pandemic? And then more info on the healthcare, ways of obtaining healthcare, and how to what are the basics of hygiene, or how to prevent the pandemic. Deferred bank loans, so by at least 3 months, and then flexible payment plans for rent and different hired goods like furniture or electronics. More televised content for the children because of lack of access to the internet. So maybe lack of access to learning modules, or so it would be more accessible by radio or by TV. I think I'm losing a little bit visibility on the map, but I can still see it on the page. Okay. So also mobile testing for the virus.
Mm.
So more on mobile healthcare, and most importantly, price control and easy access for food necessities. We talked about spaza shops being stocked and close by, and abiding by the regulations for social distancing. and also reassurance and destigmatization related to being infected and what's going to happen post infection to these communities. Um, these were the bits that we did a lot of fleshing out on, but then we talked very quickly. That's Chantal when you accessed the room and you told us that we have 3 seconds to go. So we put a few comments related to the decisions that she would be making. So she would be making decisions about knowing about the hotlines, the helplines, so that she can take care of herself and her son. Also watching TV and radio and social media, following social media, so that she knows enough about what's going on, staying informed, staying safe, and basic hygiene rules for herself and her son, and stocking up on food and necessities to ensure that she can survive this with her son. So I think that this was basically it for us. So thank you, Group 3. I think we did very well.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Olga.
So again, I think here, if we think about a large part of the South African population is in informal settlements. They're also in informal jobs. There's a large part of the population that remains unbanked. People get paid sometimes weekly or monthly. They get paid in cash. So there's a whole lot of uncertainty around people's livelihoods, and what's gonna transpire there. I think some of the employment relationships are super informal, and people might just stop paying people that are helping them in their gardens or helping them in their houses. So this is a part of the population that for me is very concerning. And we can just hope that they get support from whoever was employing them. All right, so again, feeling of heaviness, and I think we're going to have to get smart about putting support out there. I think part of we used to technology, we're sitting at home. And Catherine, the thought that even crossed my mind is, getting some coaches to donate their time so that they can be, supporting groups of people, whether it's on WhatsApp or whether it's, on using data, because I think data is, people have access to data in a lot of these communities. So, I mean, let's see what percolates inside you. And I want to also invite you to, on our Facebook page, on our LinkedIn pages, if you think about possible solutions, get in touch with us. Let's post it out there as ideas and get the community to discuss those ideas. All right, so group 4, and then we're going to start closing out. So here you've got like 4 really good examples of empathy maps. Who's our spokesperson for group 4?
I'll be doing it, yeah.
All right, stunning.
All right, hi everyone. So the persona we designed today for the empathy map was a person living on his own or on its own. So our persona is Alex. Alex is a millennial. She lives in an apartment in a complex with her dog and cat. She's very friendly, and she's a personal fitness instructor. She is self-employed. Her family is living in the region. She's single. And as I told you, she's very social and outgoing. So this is the persona that we designed the empathy map for. So yeah, now I'll be speaking about what is Alex, what is happening from Alex's perspective, especially during the past, few months, or let's say few weeks, for us here, for example, with all the COVID outbreak, the COVID-19 outbreak. So I'm gonna now tell you what is Alex, what's happening from Alex, what is she seeing, what is she hearing. So her work stopped from day one. She has a lot of, she's not seeing her friends. She feels financially insecure. She's seeing a lot of people, panicking from financial, daily life. She has a lot of time. She thinks that this can take up to 2 years. She's also panicking if she's not going to see her family again. She's hearing bad news, sorry, all the time. Good news sometimes. Frequent changes within, policies across government, the workplace. We have a curfew here in Jordan, and maybe also Alex is a little bit concerned about this, because as long as the curfew is extended, then it's, she's not going to the gym, she's not doing her job, she's not earning money. She feels lonely. She's not comfortable with her own company. Um, she's also worried about her family, and yeah. Okay. Yeah, please, can you, do I have control over it? No. It's okay, no problem.
Tell me what you need me to do.
Yeah, no problem. I think, yeah, that's enough. That's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
She's setting up a lot of Zoom calls to connect with her friends, her family. She's worrying about how much she's eating, because she's not going out. She's staying at home. Traveling the news for updates. She wants to be updated every now and then. She's a little bit worried. She's also worried about rent, and as I told you, expenses are still there, but income is affecting her way of life. She's bored, she's anxious, and sometimes she's thinking of ways to innovate. She's overwhelmed. Yeah, increased social media activities. She's worried about financial security. So I think what's happening is very clear for Alex. She doesn't feel secure enough, and she's very lonely, and she's worried about what is going to happen in the world and for the people she loves. So this is what's happening now. I'll move to the decisions. What kind of decisions do Alex needs to take, especially in this period? So maybe looking for a new job. Maybe she needs to change the apartment, how to offer her service online and get digital training. Where can she save money in the weeks to come? Thinking how she can improve her skill set to connect with family via Zooms and social connection. How to get out from the daily routine. Does she have enough food? This is a very important thing I think she's thinking about, Alex. Does she have enough money for short term, especially that now her income is affected? How to go online with her clients. This is another big decision to make, and how easy it is, and how to stay fit herself. How to create a schedule across work, family, and social activities, and how to ensure a steady income, how to look for new opportunities to gain money, especially for places where they blocked. You're not allowed to go in to the gym or to the fitness center. How to make the fitness company online, how to be future. So learn new ways to reach clients, find the best way to coach clients remotely, spend money more carefully, invest in an online video training program, and also prioritizing health over the pets. Yeah. So and this is a very important thing as well, because she has pets, and this is another thing that she needs to be looking for. So this is a lot of decisions. And in conclusion, so I think Alex needs to have she doesn't need to panic at all, but she needs to focus on what decision she needs to take in the coming period, because it's very critical. Now I'll move to the fears and the worries. Okay. She's worried if she will be financially broke. Hopefully not, Alex. Will she have to move to another city, country later on in order to find a new job? How she will be dating? How she'll be dating in the future, having her own family. Even a small cough is scary. Now she's, yeah, this is also happening with me, Alex. Don't worry. When will more hand sanitizer be available? What will I do if my partners become ill during curfew? What will the virus spread by drinking water? A lot of questions regarding the spread of the virus and how it might affect people, and the crisis. If this crisis will take longer, if people she loves if people she loves gets the virus, that's the saddest thing I think. inflation might happen because people are panicking, they're going to the market, a lot of stock, and prices are going up. Contrary, income is affected. So this is, I think, also one of the essential fears for her. Maybe she will get the virus herself, and sometimes she's afraid of that. What if the folks get the virus? Again, family and friends. Do I need face masks? Not sure of the future. What is the future is holding? She's also not sure if she should. That was okay. Family members' health again and again, financial, losing relatives. So her main worry is about, of course, no one to get harmed by this virus. Second thing is how she will get money and spend money in the coming period, and what decisions she need to make again with the. So now I'll be moving to the last section. Okay, and here I'm going to talk about the needs that Alex wants. Okay, so she needs definitely help with stress. She's stressed out, so she needs help. She needs to stay in touch with colleagues, to collaborate with colleagues, and also with the clients. Lots of hand sanitizer. She needs a lot of hand sanitizer, health advice, assurance for her employer and employees, information about availability of supplies. She needs to know these kind of important information, especially when you have a curfew. Connection, financial security to be in control, need for more accurate information, especially with the social media now, panicking and sometimes false information. Structure, collaboration, support, structure, edit, routine, personal advisory, motivation, and financial support. So this is what she needs. She needs, I think, in my opinion, she needs definitely correct information, motivation. She needs also help from her friends and family, and financial support, of course. So basically, this is the persona. And at the end, this is the empathy map. And at the end, we were asked to have like one question, like one sentence for Alex. We had a lot of interesting sentences just as an advice. Mine was, don't panic, stay focused, and learn something new every day. So, but I changed the last one to, let's connect to help each other, because this is really a nice thing now. Like I had a conversation with a chat with my friend a couple of days from Germany, and after we talked, I felt more comfortable. So I think this is the sentence: don't panic, stay focused, and let's connect to help each other. Thank you.
All right, fantastic for that piece of feedback. And I think my incredible awareness while group 4 was going around giving a piece of wisdom, I think this situation calls us all to some wisdom. And I do want to invite you to go and do an empathy map for yourself. Go and do it for the people close to you. And look at, if you were your own best friend, what would be that piece of advice that you would give yourself? Because I think we do have the wisdom. And as I was listening to you, Zaid, this calls us all to an inner leadership, to kind of rise above some of our mundane daily fears. For Alex to all of a sudden produce an online video, she might have wanted to do that for a long time, but she was just too afraid. And now we're kind of being pushed over our own fear limits. So I hope that this session gave you an overview just of empathy mapping and what a great tool it can be. We kind of created this now for a fictitious person, but please go and create this for your clients, your colleagues, your own family, your parents, and see what wisdom is buried inside of this framework. So we're almost heading for an end. We've got about 2 minutes left. I want to ask 3 people just to give a bit of feedback on how your experience was this afternoon. How did you find the tool? How did you find the online workshop? How did you find the discussion with people you have met for the first time? Let's get 2 or 3 people just to give a bit of feedback. Whoever's ready, just unmute and just give some feedback.
I'm happy to give some feedback, Chantal. Thank you very much to you and your team. I think once again, it was an amazing experience. It's been my second time online in the last week with BrandLove, and I love the tool that you use. It's beautiful. I now see for so many applications. So thank you very much. I think I'm going to definitely use Mural. And yeah, it's just an incredible experience to go through it and to, I think, realize that we're all in this together and that it really is a case of me too, and how best we can actually stand up and support those that are around us, because we truly are in this together. And I think how we engage with each other through this period is really going to be how we come out of it. So thank you for the opportunity to feel along with others.
If I may, Chantal.
Yes, sure.
Hi, everybody. It's Aloysius Peterson. I found it, how could I put it? It was exceptional. And the reason why I say it was exceptional is one of the things that we've been experiencing at my company is exactly this from a leadership perspective. It's quite difficult to not only train individuals who are not experienced enough, but it's also difficult to kind of understand where they are in their lives, why they are the way they are, why they come late to work, why they do everything that they do. It's extremely difficult, especially for a small business like myself. And one of the things that I took out of this is it's quite interlinked with your personal life at the same time, which is something that I think a lot of business owners have forgotten. And so we have COVID-19 as well. So one of the things that I've taken out of this, obviously I'm going to contact you directly, Chantal, because I want you, as soon as lockdown is over, I would like you to come through to my offices and have a chat with my staff with regards to this, because it is something that, I mean, it's something that not only the individual needs, but the company needs as well. It does assist us from a communication perspective. And I think if the communication side of things is in line with everything that you require, then you're all of a sudden going to have higher outcomes in your personal life as an individual and higher outcomes within your business framework. Because everybody's on the same line or same lineage with regards to this. So I found this exceptional. Thanks so much. Sorry for taking forever to come on board, but I'm here now, Chantal.
All right, stunning. Thank you for that. All right, one more person.
I'll jump in. I want to just acknowledge BrandLove, Chantal, Johan, Marilee, for your leadership at a time when all of us are drawing in, cutting off, cutting down. You guys are giving away, and for me, that's true leadership coming from your heart. So thank you very much. I'm now going to lie down in a dark room. I find empathy mapping fucking exhausting, and that's okay. And I think I think it's a fantastically useful tool, and I've got a colleague of mine on the line, and we'll certainly take it into our own process. And I think there's something, I'm feeling kind of vulnerable and anxious at the time anyway, something about even as we do this empathy mapping for our clients or people we want to help, taking care of ourselves and that as well. So the ability to step, to hold your own emotions and to step into others' emotions at the same time, it's spiritual warrior work. And you got to take care of the warrior first. So yeah, thank you both, all three of you, for your generosity and your love.
Catherine, thank you so much. And I do want to just end off with what Catherine has said. Is we need I always laugh at the people on the airplane when they say put on your mask first before you put on the mask on the person right next to you that needs that. And if you've got 3 children, you obviously need to look at who's got the best future potential, and you pick that one to put the oxygen mask on. No, I'm just kidding. But really, in this time, I want you to, that's why I think Johan also suggested, do your empathy map and look at what it is that you need right now and take care of those needs. Because I think what I've been experiencing is, I'm the rescuer. I want to fix everybody's shit for them. And at a time like this, my phone's never quiet because people need things from me. And I've had to put some healthy boundaries in place in saying I'm generous and I love the world. And Johan tells me often that he didn't think such love was possible, because I love thousands of people every year. And the more people I love, the more people I want to love. But at a time like this, we also need to look after ourselves, and we need to look after the people closest to us, and not, like me, have the tendency to just give away and give away and give away. And at the end of the day, there's nothing left to give to my loved ones. So I want to appeal to you, look after yourselves, find out what that oxygen mask is for you right now, maintain some healthy boundaries. And then I think just practicing gratitude. So really, we've had, we woke up this morning and Johan and I had a beautiful meditation, just looking at what is it that we're thankful for. So I want to practice some gratitude and just say, thank you for blessing us with your presence here. Thank you for joining this workshop. Thank you for volunteering in the groups to type and to learn a new tool and to be totally freaked out by my template. You guys absolutely rock. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with the world. Watch out the schedule because there's tons of lighter stuff. Catherine, I would really recommend some laughter yoga for you after this heavy empathy mapping of today. So join our laughter yoga. We're going to do shorter sessions as well so that you can only spend half an hour. Get your colleagues on here, get your kids on here, get your parents on here. Get your parents to register for Zoom so that they can hook into those laughter yoga sessions as well. So we'll see you in a next workshop. I will mail out the empathy map templates to you, and I will send you links to where you can re-watch the earlier session. And if you've got someone who want to learn how to do empathy mapping, you can either send them the session or have a look at next week's schedule. That should be out by about Thursday. And if you want to get people on the workshop, please send them the links. All right, big gratitude. Stay safe, stay home, look after yourselves. And if you have a skill or something to give away, please let me know. Email me if you've got something that you want to run online. We will help you with that. We will be with you every step of the way. The more we can share, the more we care. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Have a good one.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye.